There is no doubt about it that ever since the assassination of Charlie Kirk on September 10th, we have seen a wave of celebrities coming out of the woodwork saying downright offensive things about the man, and even saying terrible things about Charlie Kirk's family, friends, and even his wife, Erika Kirk. And that's where we're at right now. You have a lot of celebrities saying such things in the Hollywood bubble. However, thankfully, we do have some actors and some actresses out there, some actors, for example, really supporting him and his family and really lending their support. You got people like Sylvester Stallone, Mel Gibson, James Woods, Tim Allen, and many more out there that are now breaking silence and taking a stand to really just show their support to, of course, his loved ones, to his wife, Erika Kirk, and many more. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, one thing about Tim Allen is that we know that he is the most recent actor to really come out and break silence and really stand up for not just Charlie Kirk, but also for Erika Kirk, and really calling out all the actors saying some insane offensive things out there and politicizing the entire situation that happened on September 10th. And as a result, I guess I spoke too soon, already the Disney company is now taking action against Tim Allen. Now, as we talked about this previously, I was still shocked that it took a while for Disney to do anything at all. And, well, Disney's gonna Disney. It's really not all that shocking. It's the main reason why, after the whole Jimmy Kimmel situation, they caved. They allowed him to basically come back on television and to come back on his show, the Jimmy Kimmel Live show, after making those Charlie Kirk related comments that created tons of backlash. What's interesting here, though, has a lot more to do with what Disney actually did toward Tim Allen after he not only stood up for Erika Kirk, because she's dealing with a lot of, people on social media, people in Hollywood saying such awful things about her. However, this is where it gets really interesting. Now, with Charlie Kirk's assassination already creating an uptick in celebrities saying downright offensive things, not just about him, but also his family, and politicizing the whole situation, there are also other celebrities like Tim Allen calling out those very actors in Hollywood, saying awful things about Charlie or politicizing it. However, recently after Tim Allen not only defended Erika Kirk and stood up for her, but also called out many actors in Hollywood and indirectly exposed them all, already the Walt Disney Company gave Tim Allen a very serious warning to back down with his Charlie Kirk related comments in the future, and to also that Disney CEO Bob Iger was reportedly furious with Tim Allen's comments when he was defending Erika Kirk and Charlie Kirk to combat the haters and the critics from within Hollywood, the media, and even on social media. Already Bob Iger and the Disney Board of Directors held an emergency meeting over their upcoming Pixar film, Toy Story 5, and already threatened Tim Allen that if he makes any future Charlie Kirk related comments, they are going to essentially ban him from the upcoming Toy Story 5 press tour if he continues to make his political affiliation clear to his fan base. Now, both Bob Iger and the board are reportedly enraged over the fact that Tim Allen came out and spoke about Erika Kirk and Charlie and continues to show his support for President Trump. Now, the remote meeting did involve Tim Allen over the past few days, where Tim and his team were informed by the Disney company that already he is being placed under serious supervision over his Charlie Kirk related comments for defending him and Erika Kirk, and really just making it out very clear that he's a Trump supporter. Tim Allen reportedly had a heated argument with the Disney executives, and is also now refusing to take part in any additional dialogue for re-recordings that are to begin in the next couple of weeks for Toy Story 5. Bob Iger is reportedly in panic mode as he now sees Tim Allen as a threat to the success for Toy Story 5 and believes that they will lose a large percentage of the customer base, specifically those that are anti-Trump, the more that they learn about Tim Allen's support for Trump. With the Tim Allen situation, of course, now under supervision by the Disney company, and how there are tensions rising after Allen refused to take part in the re-recordings for Buzz Lightyear, the conflict is said to be rising between Iger and Tim after Tim stood up for himself and made it very clear to Disney that he is willing to continue to make comments about supporting Charlie and Trump and his wife Erika Kirk, regardless if it divides the audience base for Toy Story 5. This stance coming from Allen is already putting Bob Iger and the Disney board in panic mode, where they are also now planning to cancel a handful of featurettes that were supposed to be filmed by, of course, this December, involving Tim Allen to promote his character Buzz Lightyear. Now, these featurettes that are now facing a cancellation were set to be filmed, like I said, around December of this year, before the June 2026 release of Toy Story 5 as part of the intense marketing campaign. Now, guys, let me just say one thing about this all. This just goes to show you how out of control Disney really is, how they are so afraid of any of their actors really coming out with a different political opinion, siding with a different political party, or anything like that. And that's exactly why, you know, you see how Disney is very much a biased company in Hollywood. And look, I spoke way too soon, I will admit this, that Disney wasn't doing anything against Tim Allen, and that I was shocked that they didn't do anything against Tim Allen after he came out, supported Erika Kirk, supported Charlie Kirk, and really just called out a lot of the hypocrisy in Hollywood. And now you're dealing with this, internally speaking, over at the Walt Disney Company. It's really not that big of a shocker, but it did take a couple of days. Now, you know, one thing about Bob Iger is that this is a man that lies, essentially, to not just the customers, but to the shareholders as well. There's a lot of shareholders that are very much overwhelmed, very much frustrated with the current status of Disney, not only after raising prices for Disney Plus and how that's creating a lot of people to consider moving to other platforms like Netflix, for example, or Paramount Plus, or other streaming services out there, to just really leave Disney Plus behind. And I know a lot of people personally that are actually going to be ditching Disney Plus once those new prices settle in, I believe this October. And again, like I've said before in the past, I really do applaud Tim Allen for really just standing up against Disney and really making it very clear that he doesn't care about whatever they're going to warn him with, or whatever kind of threat they're going to actually give him, or putting him under this serious supervision, and how they are basically punishing him for really engaging in free speech. All he's doing is that he's defending Erika Kirk, Charlie Kirk, his friends and family, and making it clear about his political status, about his political, side, if you will, where he's actually siding, politically speaking. They have a very big problem with that. It's not like Tim Allen is pressuring anybody to, side with this or that side, or, anything like that. Tim Allen, all he basically did was that he defended Erika, Charlie, his family, and loved ones from the critics out there, saying terrible things about them, by the way, and also calling out the hypocrisy of Hollywood. That's it. Moving on, though, this is where it gets even more interesting, is that Disney was planning to bring Allen back for a Toy Story spin-off film after the 5th movie in 2026, roughly for a 2028 release, or 2029 the latest. However, now those talks are radio silent and have ended. That just goes to show you that Bob Iger will do anything possible to silence any of the talent that they have signed with their films. If they are Trump supporters, you're out. That's basically how it is. And so much for dialing down the noise, Bob Iger, because that's what he said a year and a half ago, and that was an obvious lie. But overall, I would love to hear what everyone has to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.